Hello everyone, so I'm back for episode 8. So this is the second video of the series where I focus more on how the pumpkin is doing. So like how I detailed in the last episode, I will update you every 5-day increments, so day 40, day 45, and day 50. And then for each of those days, I will give you its weight estimate and average growth rates. So here's the 1940 Urena plant and pumpkin. Today is Saturday, July 23rd. It is DAP 40. The pumpkin was measuring 788 pounds. So quite a bit shy of my 900-pound goal at day 40. So I think the reason was on Sunday and Monday of the previous week, it got up to 105 and 108 degrees Fahrenheit respectively. And I think during those days it just shut down. It was going 45 pounds a day, and then it went down to 0, and then 18, and then 11. So it really lost some ground there. So I was kind of bummed about that. I tried to, I missed the plan. I tried to cool the pumpkin down. I had a big fan here. I tried everything, but that just wasn't really enough. Kind of at the whims of the weather here. So that really kind of stunted it. It's kind of getting back up in the weight gains, daily weight gains. So it was doing 25 pounds and 33 pounds, and then I think we're close to 40 again. But nonetheless, so I'm glad I didn't die or abort, but we did lose quite a bit of ground because of that hot spell. So anyway, I'll just show you what the pumpkin looks like now. So the blossom is still intact. Cross your fingers. It's kind of a strange innie. I've never had one like quite that innie before. It's got a nice good orange color to it. I'm just kind of walking you around here. Sorry. Okay, so here's, it's really wide actually. And then here's the stem here. Really monster stem. Anyway, so that's what it looks like, DAP 40. I can maybe get around another angle here. I'm just generally showing you. So that's that. I have the canopy kind of pulled up a little bit, and then I have also a white sheet that I pulled off of it just so you can see the pumpkin easier. I guess all I can show you, so I'll update you on day 45, and we'll see kind of what it's doing then. So bye for now. Okay, I'm back. So today is DAP 45, and I'm just going to give you a quick update here. So the pumpkin was estimated to be 947 pounds this morning. So that was 32 pounds a day for the last 5 days. So it slowed down a little bit, but that's kind of to be expected since it's kind of getting a little old here. So hopefully it can just sustain those gains since because of the heat wave, we're behind pace to beat the South Dakota state record of 1,823 pounds. So right now it's kind of looking like a bit of a long shot, but we'll see if it can surprise me and do good here. So anyway, just an overall view of the pumpkin here. Just get around here, just to show you here. Okay, so the stem side here, it's getting a lot of cantalouping in the front, which I think is because of too much sun exposure. So because of the heat wave, I had actually cut the plastic a little bit higher up, like up around here, to have more airflow, just because I thought this might have been more of like an oven in here, and then would have been a lot hotter in here than it was actually outside, which I think maybe contributed to its slow growth during the heat wave. So I cut that up to give it more airflow. I've been always covering it with the sheet, but the sheet's just not quite a lot of sun protectant or anything. So I think that's the problem, is the front is kind of hardening, which is kind of what's causing all these little micro cracks here, versus like if you look here where it's well shaded, it's nice and baby smooth skin. So I'm gonna try to maybe put, I don't know, like some like heavier sunblock blockers right around this front part, because I think this is where it kind of gets nailed with the sun the hardest. At least that's like the direction of the sun. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do about this, I'm just going to spray like a 10% bleach solution on this, since it's kind of oozing a little bit of goo here. I want to clean that up, and I'll just wipe that down. And that's just to kind of disinfect this area to make sure it's clean. So I'll do that. And then the other thing is, again, the vine's kind of kinking again, so I'm gonna have to move this pumpkin back. So the same process as last time. So I'll just use that 4-inch strap and then slide it back. What I actually did is I put a stack of a few towels here in front so the strap wouldn't damage the stem, because if the strap goes around here, it's just gonna break off the stem when you apply the force. So I just put like 3-inch stack of towels here on the front here, and the strap went over that to try to kind of get the stem away, the strap away from the stem, so the stem wouldn't, there wouldn't be like stress of the pulling the strap back on the stem. So I'm just gonna have to do that tomorrow during the heat of the day, get that slid back. Also, I think part of the problem for overall slow growth is, I'll show you maybe, is that kink that happened in the stump really early on that I showed you when the plant was still in the cold frame. It did not really heal well over. It's a really severe kink, and I think that's really hurting kind of flow from the stump. So I hope that it's kind of, I guess it's a bummer that it happened. I think that's kind of causing slow growth here. Well, you know, learn for next year to hopefully try to prevent that from happening. But anyway, I think that's everything. So I'll update you on day 50. Hopefully it'll be hopefully like 1,100 and pushing 1,200 pounds is what I want, is where I want to be to beat the state record. That's what kind of needs to happen here. But with this kind of slow growth, I doubt it's gonna be there, but we'll see. Hopefully it'll surprise me. But so anyway, bye for now. Okay, I am back. So today is DAP 50. So recently the gains have plummeted. So it was doing, again, 32 pounds a day for the last 5 days from day 40 to day 45. And then from day 45 to day 50, did an average of 20 pounds. However, recently, when I measured it from day 48 to now, it's only done 15 pounds a day. So that's not going well as far as overall gains are concerned. So it's sitting right at 1,047 pounds. So I guess, you know, it's really kind of dropping a lot faster than I had hoped for, expected. So hopefully at least it can kind of keep going at this slow rate here and not drop down any lower. Otherwise, yeah, there's definitely no chance of state record happening. But I think I kind of have my own theories about this, and one of them is that, so this is the first, second, so around the third metal post here, supporting my helmet here, that's where the plant was when I ran out of my vine bearing dirt. So dirt from that ground that I'd added, compost, and, you know, peat moss and perlite and vermiculite and all the amendments and stuff, that holds water really well. But right around there, I actually ran out of the dirt, so I had to get a couple yards of dirt from a local dirt supplier. However, that dirt has this really strange hydrophobic property, so it repels water. And no matter what you do, like you wet it, you soak it, you pour a bunch of water on it, it's like you didn't even give it any water at all. So, you know, you have, like, we actually got like a 2-inch rainstorm a week ago or something, just dumped a ton of rain on this patch. And then I came out like a few minutes after the rain stopped, and I scraped like a 1/4 inch underneath the dirt, and it's just dry as a bone. It's kind of a strange problem. I ordered some kind of yucca extract, so that's what it's a surfactant, so it's supposed to be able to kind of break the water's surface tension and allow the water to kind of, you know, I guess, wet that dirt a little bit better. It's supposed to be able to wet the dirt easier. It's a soil penetrant, basically. So we'll see. I'll try to do that. I actually just got it in the mail, so hopefully that'll work. I'll try that on tonight. But so far the problem is that there's been no way to get water to this half of the plant. So basically none of these vines, even though I've buried them all, are rooted. So I actually just checked, you wetted a ton and it's just bare bones dry under it. So that's really unfortunate. The roots grow, there's no water where the roots are, and it just dries up, dies. So what I was saying earlier is that, you know how you kind of separate the plant into stages? So the older part of the plant kind of supports the pumpkin kind of earlier, and then kind of right around this time, the old part of the plant starts to become less productive. You can see all the old leaves here. And then at that time, the new part of the plant kind of starts to take up the reins, and that's what's then fueling the pumpkin to the rest of the season. Well, the problem now is that this part of the newer part of the plant, which is supposed to be fueling the pumpkin, is only leaves. There are no roots here because of that problem with that hydrophobic soil. So what we're having is that older part of the plant, which is the part that's rooted with the good dirt, is no longer, well, it's somewhat productive, but it's not very productive. That's what's causing the lower gains, I think. And then this part of the plant, which is nice and young and healthy, is not really, it's not I'm not taking full advantage of it just because there's no roots to, take up water and fertilizer and stuff. So, and it's really unfortunate here. So hopefully, I guess when I bury future vines here, and then hopefully I can get that dirt to actually stay wet for longer than 5 seconds. And then hopefully, not obviously these roots are kind of, grown and died and dried up and everything. They won't really grow once I wet it, but I'm hoping is that when these vines get out to here, that they'll hopefully root. So that's one problem. Second problem, I guess, is because around DAP 5 to DAP 10 or something, well, actually, I got a tissue test like around before pollination, and it was like really high in nitrogen. So I thought, okay, well, let me just pause on the nitrogen. I'm not going to give any nitrogen. I saw a few nitrogen burns on the leaves, so I just stopped giving nitrogen, which I thought was sensible at the time. And then I must have, taken a break for too long, because when I did a tissue test a couple weeks from then, it was just rock bottom low, and I think you can kind of see the yellow edges, which I think actually now was a nitrogen deficiency. You can just see how tiny the leaves are in this section of the plant. And then you can see how much bigger the leaves are over here when the nitrogen was corrected. But during that period, the plant really kind of got stunned, just didn't grow it like at all. So I think that's why my plant is so far behind. Plant should be way out to that compost bin there with the 8-inch boards there. But it's here, and so it's still growing and sucking energy from where the energy is supposed to go to the pumpkin, I guess, sorry. So basically the pumpkin plant's producing X amount of energy, and so a lot of that energy is still going into growing more plant and not fueling the pumpkin. So you want to make sure, that's one of the things that you want to try to strive for, is to try to get a big plant really early on, so that you can kind of, get all the energy to grow, all the plant's energy to grow the plant, and then once the pumpkin kind of starts growing, you want to shift all that energy to the pumpkin. So that's kind of a few issues I've been having here. So hopefully it'll still grow here, but this is definitely not ideal. Also, it's kind of a bummer, since a person who had supplied compost, cow manure, for a couple of years, he kind of had to move out, and is kind of stopped making compost, so that's a real bummer. So he doesn't have any compost for sale anymore, and there's no other remotely decent compost sources around where I live. So it's going to be a bummer, because I think that's the problem with the dirt, the hydrophobic dirt, is that it has like zilch organic matter, and organic matter is kind of what retains and holds on to water in soils. So anyway, so this is the end of this video. So next video is going to be DAP 55, DAP 60, 65, and 70. Hopefully, if it makes it that far. So for now, bye.